Revealed. Why Alexander Isak has been training alone at Newcastle amid intense Liverpool Al-Hilal transfer speculation. The reason for Alexander Isak training alone at Newcastle has been revealed, as intense transfer speculation links him with Liverpool and Al-Hilal. Swedish striker missed friendly with Celtic, has been seen working away from Magpie squad, nursing injury concern that is being managed. What happened? The Sweden international striker is said to be attracting interest from heavyweight outfits in the Premier League and Saudi Pro League. Big money offers are reportedly being readied, with Isak'S said to come with a £120, $130 million, $176 million price tag. The bigger picture. Newcastle are understandably reluctant to sell as they prepare for more Champions League action, but Isak'S was sent home from a pre-season friendly clash with Celtic as more questions were asked of his future on Tyneside. What Howe said. Magpies boss Eddie Howe said at the time, "Alex has trained this week and he's fine, but we didn't want to take the risk with him today. Alex was with us all the way through Austria, but today, with all the speculation and things that are going on, I decided to send him home. It's purely the last thing Alex wants if he's not playing is to be sat in the stand. Being under that scrutiny, I don't think that's fair to the player. So if he wasn't going to play today, which we mutually agreed, he needs a little bit more training time, then it's best that he's not here." Did you know? Pictures then emerged of Isak'S training away from the rest of the first-team squad at Newcastle. That situation only served to fuel the rumors regarding a supposedly imminent move elsewhere being lined up. Tell me more, term. Newcastle World are, however, claiming that Isak'S underwent a scan on a thigh problem this week. That test is said to have come back clear, but as a precaution, Howe decided that the 25-year-old Swede should take in a light session by himself. What next for Isak'S? Newcastle have Isak'S tied to a contract through to 2028, meaning that they are under no pressure to sell. They had been hoping to extend that agreement, ensuring that a talismanic presence remains at St. James's Park. But there are reports of Isak'S and his representatives demanding £300, $000 a week in those discussions. Alexander Isak'S to Liverpool is on after official Hugo Ekitike announcement drops. Newcastle United striker and Liverpool target Alexander Isak'S. Liverpool have not given up on the prospect of signing Alexander Isak'S from Newcastle United in the summer transfer window, according to a reliable source, as the Premier League champions officially announced a deal for Hugo Ekitike. On Wednesday evening, Liverpool officially announced the signing of Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt. The Premier League champions released a statement on their official website saying that Ekitike has successfully completed a medical and agreed personal terms, adding that the French striker will fly out to Hong Kong to join Arne Slot's side later this week. Liverpool FC have reached an agreement for the transfer of Eintracht Frankfurt forward Hugo Ekitike, subject to international clearance, notes the statement. Slot has been looking to sign a new striker in the summer transfer window, with Darwin Núñez losing his place in the Liverpool starting lineup last season. Ekitike will cost Liverpool an initial transfer fee of £69 million, according to The Times, with the Premier League champions now spending almost £300 million this summer, following the signings of Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Milos Kerkez, among others. Liverpool are not done yet in terms of signing strikers, with the Liverpool Echo journalist Ian Doyle revealing that the Reds have not given up on signing Isak'S from Newcastle. It was after Newcastle rebuffed Liverpool's approach for Isak'S that the Reds pressed on for Ekitike, but it seems that the Merseyside club still want to bring the Swedish striker to Anfield. Team Talk's transfer correspondent, Fraser Fletcher, has long reported that Isak'S is Slot's dream signing at Liverpool, who have been willing to pay Newcastle £120 million for the Sweden international striker this summer. Doyle wrote on X at 7:33 p.m. on July 23rd, #LFC have confirmed the signing of Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt in an initial £79 million deal. Liverpool had been in contact with players' camp since January, and once Newcastle made offer for him, the Reds made their move. Initial £69 million obviously, potential £79 million overall. Man UTD made failed late effort to sign striker. The reporter added, Ekitike, viewed as versatile forward who can play at number 9, but also out wide or as second striker, will join up with new teammates in Hong Kong, LFC still monitoring developments of Alexander Isak at Newcastle. What is happening with Alexander Isak and Newcastle United? Newcastle turning down Liverpool's advances for Isak this summer indicates their strong stance on the striker. The Magpies, who won the Carabao Cup last season and will play in the Champions League in the 2025-26 campaign after finishing in the top 5 of the Premier League table, are firm in their not-for-sale stance on Isak. It would be a bold statement of intent from Liverpool if they go back for the 25-year-old with another club record bid after signing Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen for an initial £100 million plus £16 million in potential add-ons. According to TalkSport, Newcastle and Isak are locked in talks over a new deal, with the striker demanding £300,000 a week to put pen to paper on fresh terms. Sources have told Team Talk that Newcastle are willing to bump up Isak's pay to £180,000 per week. There is interest in Isak from Saudi Pro League club Al-Hilal, with one of his representatives, Gonzalo Gatan, telling Saudi newspaper Ariadia, "We are indeed studying and analyzing all options, and we may be close to finalizing the next step for the player," without revealing any details regarding whether Isak will transfer or stay with Newcastle. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe has also spoken of his desire to keep Isak, but he has admitted that there is no guarantee that he will stay. Howe told BBC Radio Newcastle ahead of Newcastle's pre-season tour of Asia, "Yes, absolutely. He's part of our squad. At this moment in time, I expect him to come. I'd never give a guarantee about anybody staying, because I've been in football long enough to know I could end up looking silly. But the desire from everybody to keep him is as strong as it could be. Fingers crossed that will happen for us." The Northern Echo has reported that Isak will travel with the rest of the Newcastle squad to the Far East despite not playing against Celtic last weekend in their first preseason game. Latest Liverpool news. Rodrigo Truth, Ibrahima Konate hopes. The Athletic journalist James Pearce has revealed whether Liverpool are truly looking at Real Madrid. Forward Rodrigo as a potential replacement for Luis Diaz, who is the subject of interest from Bayern Munich. Team Talk's transfer correspondent, Fraser Fletcher, has reported that Chelsea are intensifying their efforts to sign a defender that Liverpool also want. Liverpool FC journalist David Lynch has sparked hopes among Liverpool fans that Ibrahima Konate could sign a new contract with the Reds, despite speculation that the France international central defender wants to join Real Madrid. In focus. Why Liverpool have signed Hugo Ekitike to replace Darwin Núñez. How Ekitike and Núñez compared in their respective leagues last season. Mohamed Salah just named 2 Premier League legends he wishes he played with. There's no doubting Mohamed Salah's status as one of the greatest Premier League players of all time now. What the Egyptian king has achieved with Liverpool is nothing short of outstanding. Since arriving at Anfield in 2017 from Roma, the winger has scored goals at a rapid rate, never dropping below 18 in the league for the Reds. Leading the team to their first 2 Premier League titles as well as a Champions League in 2019, Salah has racked up strikes at such an impressive speed that he is now 3rd in the club's all-time scoring charts. Having been a part of many star-studded Liverpool teams, the forward has played with some truly great names. But every player always has a few icons on their bucket list who they wish they played with. For Salah, 2 greats of English football stand out to him most. Mohamed Salah is many younger generations' favorite Liverpool player, but the Egyptian king himself revealed he had one growing up too. The players Salah wishes he played with. Forward named another Liverpool icon. As part of an interview with France Football, Salah was asked multiple quick-fire questions. One of these was which player you would like to have played with. Not content to give one answer, Salah opted to give 2 names. One of those, to the joy of Liverpool fans, was Steven Gerrard. Regarded as the club's best player by many, the midfielder skippered the Merseyside outfit for over a decade, leading them to Champions League glory in 2005 and 2 FA Cup triumphs. Salah's other pick was Arsenal icon Thierry Henry. The Frenchman often finds his name mentioned in answers to this question, and for good reason too. Arriving in North London from Juventus in 1999, the forward brought a flair unlike any player in the league at the time. A fantastic dribbler and lethal finisher who was capable of playing off the left or through the middle, Henry left the Gunners in 2007 with 175 goals in the Premier League, which makes him the 8th highest scorer in the competition's history. With 3 Premier League trophies and 4 Golden Boot prizes, there's no doubting his legacy as one of the game's greats. Salah's other quick-fire answers: named player he preferred playing with and favorite manager. Salah also gave some intriguing answers to the other questions he was asked in the interview. First asked for the greatest African player in football history, the Egyptian jokingly said himself, before going on to name-drop George Weah, Didier Drogba, and Samuel Eto'o. Then asked which player he preferred to play with, the Anfield legend chose to snub all Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane, who helped form one of the Premier League's best forward trios along with Salah. He decided to choose Eden Hazard instead, having trained and played alongside the Chelsea icon during a failed stint at Stamford Bridge. Salah then proceeded to snub Jurgen Klopp and current Liverpool boss Arne Slot when asked who his favorite manager was. Luciano Spalletti was his answer, with the Italian helping the winger find his feet again, following his difficult time at Chelsea. His favorite goals, though, were both for the Reds against Man City, with one effort the chip he scored in the Champions League quarter-finals back in 2018. Alexander Isak drops bombshell demand to Newcastle to sign new contract amid Liverpool transfer speculation. Isak has made a huge demand to stay at the club. Alexander Isak has made a clear demand to Newcastle in order for him to stay at the club amid interest from Liverpool and Al-Hilal. Isak made himself the hottest property in the Premier League last season after scoring 23 goals, as well as starring in the club's Carabao Cup victory. The Sweden international has been predominantly linked with a move, and Liverpool, with Arne Slot reportedly viewing the 25-year-old as his dream summer signing. However, the Reds have now agreed a deal worth £79 million for Frankfurt striker Hugo Ekitike, which was likely an alternative to the Newcastle striker. Isak has also been of significant interest to the Saudis, with the striker reportedly giving the green light for negotiations to begin with Al-Hilal. Alexander Isak for Newcastle in the Premier League. Isak's representative Gonzalo Gaitan has spoken out about the situation to Saudi Arabian newspaper Al Riyadiyah, amid recent links between the striker and several Saudi Pro League sides. He said, "We are indeed studying and analyzing all options, and we may be close to finalizing the next step for the player," without revealing any details regarding whether Isak will transfer or stay with Newcastle. Alexander Isak gives Newcastle ultimatum. With their star man edging to the exit door, Newcastle will be desperate to fend off interest, and Isak has reportedly given the club the exact conditions in which he would stay at the club. According to TalkSport, Isak has demanded a salary of £300,000 to sign a new deal at St. James's Park. A deal of that magnitude would completely decimate the club's wage structure and could lead to similar issues Man Utd faced in recent seasons. Despite reporting back for preseason training, Isak was not present for the club's 4-0 loss to Celtic on Saturday. Eddie Howe and Alexander Isak. What Eddie Howe has said about Alexander Isak: "It was my decision. He traveled to Glasgow with us, but I decided to send him home due to the speculation around him," Howe told reporters. "The last thing he wanted was to be sat in the stand watching that. Wasn't fair to him. But I'm confident he will be a Newcastle player come the end of the window. Your top players are so hard to find, so hard to recruit, and so hard to develop. So when you have them, you need to treasure them. Of course, we're desperate to keep him as part of our team. Yes, I've had discussions with him, but that's not abnormal," said Howe. "I respect a player's career and how short it is. Alex has been really good. He's trained really well, and I realize there'll be noise around him,